Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kay from Lunarlight Games, and thanks for dropping back in. Hello, and welcome to our channel if you're new. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Help us keep growing our channel, please. Anyway, we are back again with more Steins Gate Elite. Well, mostly Chapter 1. We're still trying to complete the rest of this one. And it's going to take a little while, but we'll get it done tonight or possibly into the next session. We shall see. But hang on, give me a sec here while I set things up. Man, the music here brings back memories. If you're new to Steins Gate, I highly recommend you guys checking out the original visual novel, or if that's not possible, check out either this game or the anime. This game follows the anime quite closely, and it cuts out a few things that were more elaborated upon in the original. Sadly, they kind of streamlined a lot of things, so some more mature themes and elements have been kind of stripped out. It's not a terrible loss, but it is quite noticeable if you have played through the original visual novel. But anyway, give me a sec here. Let me go ahead and get set up, and then we shall get going. Alright, I've had a long day. But I figured, I still have a few more hours left tonight, so we'll take things slow and easy, and we'll dive back into the world of Steins Gate. Let's get started. Since this is a visual novel, we will do a lot of reading, or in our case, a lot of this is voiced out, since it takes most of the voiceovers from the anime and places it here. So let's go ahead and run through this. I'm debating whether I should read this out to you guys, since I was struck with a few other issues with the last video. You know what? I'll just go ahead and read through it. After the two-time travel theory she introduced us at the beginning, she explained the rest with equal eloquence. If there's any voiced lines here, I'll go ahead and let that play through. Most of this visual novel is experienced through the eyes and lens of our unlikely hero, Ocarine. This isn't readily apparent during the anime, but in the visual novel, everything plays out from his point of view. She seemed a little nervous at first, but that quickly changed as she spoke. By the end, it was an impressive lecture, so impressive that you wouldn't think it was an 18-year-old's first time. Oh, right. I love how most Japanese media games, most if not all the time, young adult animes will play out from the point of view of, like, say, maybe a 17 or 18-year-old. I guess that's kinda the target demographic. Anyway, she did well to respond to my malicious questions with sarcasm. She's got guts. Wait, why am I praising her? There's a hint of jealousy here. Leaving that aside, I saw Magise Kurisu dead. If you were to localize this, I think Kurisu is basically just Chris. So Magise Chris. And yet she is alive. The last time we saw her, she was in a puddle of blood. Yet somehow she's still active here. Well, that's the thing about Steins Gate. We're dealing with time travel, and as we'll soon discover later, parallel dimensions as well. My memories don't mesh with reality. And not just my memories of Chris, but also my conversations with Mayuri. Daru too. Everything that happens in this reality stands in stark opposition to the world I remember. So somehow we got teleported into a different reality, as it were. Nobody remembers except for Ocarina. Everything would be solved if I just told myself that what I saw was a dream, an illusion. It never happened. Daru don't care. By the time I had snapped out of my internal monologue, Daru had wandered off. So be it. I need to focus on finding a way to discover the true cause of my contradicting memories anyway. It's not because he's crazy, right? This leaves me with no choice. We will find out a reason later for why we always see that clock ticking. Anyway, after some wandering, I arrive at Yanabayashi Shrine. I need to get exorcised. Apparently he's carrying a demon. I seriously doubt that the Makise Chris at ATF was a ghost. Regardless, it's natural to seek an exorcism after such an experience. I'm Japanese, it's in our blood. That's such an Asian thing to say, after having experienced it myself. Yanabayashi Shrine is located on the other side of Kanda River. To find it, enter the first side road after crossing Mansebashi Bridge. It's a very small shrine that doesn't fit with the surrounding multi-tenant buildings. Kanda Myojin is the more famous shrine in Akiba, but I deliberately chose this one. Oh, it's our favorite friend Mayuri. But who's this character? There are two girls standing in front of the main building. Yeah? One is Mayuri, and the other is docile-looking beauty wearing traditional Miko attire. Urushibara Luka. The chief priest's son. Wait, what, son? I thought you said girl. Lovely in every way, but he's a guy.
Okabe-san, konnichiwa.
Yes, that is the shrine owner's son. Not daughter. We met when I rescued him from some aggressive photographers in Akiba's pedestrian heaven. Pedestrian heaven. What the hell is that? It also so happens that Lukako and Mayuri are classmates. There we go again with more nicknames. I learned that fact after I gotten to know him. And yes, he's Ocarina's friend.
精神ざんまりを極めさえすれば、お前も己の内にある邪悪な炎に焼かれずに済む。
There are some very seriously strong otaku vibes here. Demon Sword Samidare may be an imitation sword, but that is the only form it takes to hide from the world. An imitation sword. Apparently you can get replicas anywhere in Japan. When one worthy to wield it appears, it unleashes its true power. This reminds me of the time I wandered through Chinatown. Replica swords were everywhere for sale.
岡部さんには感謝しています。
俺は岡部ではない。
おかりんだよ。ごめんなさい、京馬さん。
分かればいいのだ。では合言葉。
エルブサイコンガリ
違う、コンガリュウではなくコングルーだ。
ウ？はい。エルブサイコングルー。これでいいですか？
I'm pretty sure Lukako is also voiced by a woman. Anyway, he smiles happily as I nod. He's blushing too.
ありがとうございます。
It doesn't help that he has a hair clip, further accentuating his feminine side. Thank you.
美しい師弟関係だね。マユシーは不女子じゃないけど、ちょっとドキドキしてきちゃうよ。
Oh, just in case if you're wondering what a fujoshi is, a term for a female otaku with a particular interest in yaoi. If you're familiar with, anime in general, you pretty much know what this is, but I'll let that stand.
まゆりちゃん、変な想像しないで。
Jeez, stop fantasizing. Though we do have a master-disciple relationship, it means nothing.
なぜマユリはここにいる？
ルカ君に会いに来たんだよ。来月のコミマでライネットのキラリちゃんこそしてほしいってずっと頼んでるのに、ちっとも OK してくれないんだよ。だってコスプレするなんて僕恥ずかしいよ。でもルカ君は絶対似合うと思うんだ。こんな可愛い子が女の子のはずがないって大人気になるよ。ねえ、しようよ、コスプレデビュー。
She really wants him in on it. Her hobby is making costumes. She's made at least 30 so far, but it's rare for her to wear one herself. She's more of a costume designer than a cosplayer. Instead, she seems to get her kicks from seeing other people wear them. Is it, fantasy kicks or the fun kind of kicks? Because I'm sort of getting the fantasy vibe from these two over here. And it looks like she's chosen Lukako as her next target. I was about to say new assistant, but never mind.
それよりルカ子よ。 俺がこの神社を訪ねたのは他でもない。お祓いを頼みたいのではやってもらえないだろうか。
お祓いですか？だったらお父さんに。
いや、そこまで大げさにしなくていい。気休めでいいのだ。
And that's why I came here instead of Kanda Shrine.
というわけで、例のあれを持ってこい。
How nice to be exercised by your best friends.
例のあれと言いますと。
Or is it student? Master? You know what, never mind.
お祓いと言ったらあれに決まっている。正式な名称はわからんが、棒に白い紙がふさふさとついていて、神主がわさわさと振るやつだ。
今のオカリンの説明、ゆとりっぽいね。
Quite a shock to hear that from Mayuri. Apparently she knows better.
俺に取り付いた悪霊が。静まれ、悪霊よ。急げ、ルカ子。このままでは俺は乗っ取られる。
そんな、岡部さん、しっかりしてください。
俺は岡部さんではない。
すいません、京馬さん。でも僕、どうしたら。
お祓いを急げ。この前教えた通りにやればいい。
はい。
頼む、悪霊を俺の中から追い出してくれ。
Reason tells me he's a guy, but his lovely appearance makes me feel guilty. Like I made a frail girl cry. Why is he monologuing this? I have no idea. I mean, he's kind of making up this whole scenario anyway, but we'll let him play along. The voice of a girl, the mannerisms of girl. More feminine than any girl I know. But he's a dude. Taller than Mayuri, yet oh so slender. But he's a dude. Looks stunning in Miko robes. But he's a dude. Something tells me he has the hots for him. Her. No, it's really just him. It's almost evening, yet still hot as hell outside. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be the lovely Miko priestess next to him? But he's a dude.
大丈夫だ。悪霊は去ったようだ。よくやったな、ルカ子。
With a sigh of relief, I offer Lukako my thanks. He did that on purpose.
お役に立ててよかったです。
Lukako gave us some corn on the cob, and Mayuri and I left Yanabayashi Shrine. Ooh, sweet elotes. Though this corn was originally sent to Lukako's home, Lukako offered to share it with the lab after it proved to be too much for his family to eat. We truly owe Luca for providing us with these valuable supplies. That was a fun detour, right? Still fired up after Lukako's exorcism, Mayuri swung her bag of corn about like a sword. Not that I could blame her, I was excited myself. All over corn. Truth be told, I'm not a big fan of corn on the cob. Probably an unpopular opinion, I know. We tried taking a shortcut, but found our path blocked off. Reasonable, I suppose, given that the bridge led to Radicon. With our progress halted, Mayuri takes out her pocket watch to check the time. Man, a pocket watch in this day and age? It's a very old watch, not the sort you'd expect a high school girl to carry. This probably belongs in the pocket of an old man or probably some older gentleman. Its name is Pockety, the pocket watch. Ever since elementary school, Mayuri has carried Pockety with her everywhere. It's her most important treasure. If she's concerned about the time, it must mean she has to go to work soon. A series about time travel, and one of the main characters carries a pocket watch. Everything seems to be on the nose, I guess. Without saying a word, I extend my hand to Mayuri, offering to take the corn back to the lab myself.
ありがとう。じゃあマユシーはこれからバイトだからもう行くね。
マユリ、お前はあの時ラジカンで男の悲鳴を聞いたよな。
悲鳴？それっていつのこと？
今日の昼だ。
聞いてないかな。
そうか。わかった。だったらいい。
変なおかり。
Well, after dragging the corn back home, I returned to the lab to see a large, fearsome man standing out front. He's the workshop's manager, actually the owner of this whole building, Tennoji Yugo. Damn, this dude's huge. I call him Mr. Braun. I think it's supposed to be probably a pun. It's a fitting name for someone who loves brawn tubes. And not because of the fact that he's pretty jacked. No sooner had he caught my attention than an unfamiliar woman jumped out from the brawn tubes workshop. Not workstation, I don't know why I said that. They own a repair shop for... Oh no, it's her.
Oh.
Who are you again? As I was about to say, the big jack dude owns a repair shop for CRT TVs.
あれ？
Who the hell is this? What sort of woman greets people like that? I don't know, she seems like a kid.
天音鈴葉です。
And after that nightmare of a greeting, she just introduces herself. Such bold behavior. Could she be an organization's spy?
ああ、バイトの面接したいって子な。
バイトの面接だとこんな若い女性が。この新規臭くておしゃれ感ゼロで繁盛もしておらずむさいおっさんが店長のブラウン管工房にバイト希望だというのか。
おめえ来月から2階の家賃1000円増しな。
An extra 1,000 yen means an extra $100. That's pretty huge for rent.
俺は事実を言ったまでですよ。もっとも部外者が口を出す問題ではないが、しかしブラウン管工房がバイトを募集していたとはな。この暇さではその必要性を全く感じないのだが。
ああ、それは私が電話で無理って頼んだんです。最初は断られたんだけどさ、店長さんにどうしてもお願いしますって。
年は
18。
Everyone happily and conveniently is 18. What a coincidence. Same as me.
なんでうちで働きたいんだ。
ブラウン管が好きだから。
採用、明日から来い。
それでいいのか。というかこれはコントか、もしかして仕込みか。
ありがとう店長さん。ところでさ、君は誰？
Does she even know to fix CRT TVs? Who knows?
俺の女聞きたいというのか。いや、やめておけ。それを知ることでお前にも最悪が降りかかるかもしれん。これまでも多くの人が俺の名を知ったことで機関に狙われた。アメリカのサラ、イタリアのクラウディア、フランスのシモン。これ以上誰かを危険な目に遭わせるわけには。
おい、アホな妄想してんじゃねえよ。このバカ男は2階に間借りしてる岡部倫太郎ってんだ。
岡部ではない。俺は法院。
うるせえ。家賃さらに1000円上乗せするぞ。
岡部倫太郎だ。
君を狙ってるその機関ってのが何なのかわかんないけど、もし困ってんなら私に相談して。岡部倫太郎、そういうの慣れてるからさ。
は？
あ？
場合によっては手段を選ばず痛めつけてやることも可能だし。
ミスター・ブラウン、彼女は採用しない方がいいと思う。
ああ、物騒だな。騒ぎ起こしたらクビにするからな。そもそもその機関なんたらは岡部の創作だから本気にすんな。
創作？
せいぜいそう思ってるがいいさ。
そういうのが流行ってんだ。勉強になったよ。
Yeah, but someday the world will kneel before me. He's a bit of an idiot, right? After I make it to the lab, I lug the broken TV down to the Braun Tube workshop for repairs. For those of you of a certain age, if you don't know what CRT TVs are, think the old TVs from back in like the mid 2000s and late 90s. They're the big old box TVs with a huge protruding backside. Nowadays you have TVs that are like pretty much almost like glass panels, where you have everything flat in the front, and then in the backside there's like maybe a small like connector box for you to plug in your HDMI cords and everything. But back then, TV screens and computer monitors were huge, big old things. They weighed a ton, even for like a TV that was about, I don't know, 40 inches, 40 something inches. They weighed quite a bit. Some of them maybe around like 40 to 60 pounds. They were always a hassle to move around, and no joke, if you're trying to move them down like stairways and everything, it was almost impossible to do by yourself. You needed help. Oh, that one's not too bad. The sign on the door says closed, but I know from past experience not to take it at face value. Sure enough, I see Mr. Braun in his workshop, relaxing with a cup of tea. That must be some tea. He looks really relaxed.
お、どうした岡部？
どうしたもこうしたもないですよ。あなたからもらったテレビが壊れた。
おめえ、俺のブラウン管を乱暴に扱いやがったな。愛が足りねえんだよ、愛が。
I don't know what kind of love he's talking about, because those type of TVs back when I was younger, if ever they stopped working at some point, you could just like take your hand and just like slap the back of it, and sometimes it may or may not fix whatever was wrong with the screen. It wasn't always a foolproof option, but if you did not know how to repair it, and you didn't make enough money to take it out for repairs, you just smack it once or twice and hope for the best. But yeah, I'm also bound bald guy talking about love. What does this guy know about love? It sends shivers down my spine.
修理をお願いしたい。最優先だ。
相変わらず変な話し方だな、おめえって。
I see no sign of Suzuha. Yeah, her name's kind of weird to pronounce. Suzuha Amane, the woman from earlier inside the shop. What I do see are CRT screens everywhere. I think a few of them are also PVMs as well. Oh, to have one of those nowadays. Especially if you're going to play like some classic retro games. The haphazard layout makes them seem like junk, but they're all functional according to Mr. Braun. He's got a full range of both old and new. Some of them are probably older than me. There are even some flat screen and HD CRTs that came out just before LCDs took the market. You know, I never saw those HD CRTs that he's talking about. Most of the CRT TVs I remember, they kind of peaked with those big old box sets. This was around like the 2000s or so. But if you happen to walk into like a Circuit City or I guess maybe a Best Buy, they'd have these huge TVs that are like, you have pretty much like the flat panels that you would have on like an LCD nowadays, but it was integrated with like a huge speaker system at the very bottom, and it was like this big bulky machine that extended out like I want to say like 3 to 4 feet out the back. And it was a big old unit. You couldn't even carry it. You had to basically slide it around because it came on wheels. I think we still have one of them too. I forgot what they're called, but they're definitely in between the CRTs and LCD TVs.
これは多分基板のハンダ浮きだな。直せろで。
そうですか。ではよろしく。
待ってろ。見積もり書作ってやる。
金を取るのか？
当たり前だろ。払わねえつもりだったのか。
このテレビはあなたからもらったものだぞ。
だからなんだよ。アフターサービスまでタダでやってやるとは言ってねえぜ。
おのれ。中央間近のオンボロを押し付けておいて、その言い草とは。
うるせえな。だったら人ってやってもいいんだぞ。家電リサイクル法で回収費ももらうけどな。
横暴だぞ。人類史の未来を変えるやもしれぬ男からたかろうとは。
それ誰のことだ？
俺のことに決まっているでしょ。
歯磨いて寝ろよガキ。そもそも2階をただ同然で貸してやってるこの俺にそういうこと言うとはいい度胸だな。
修理代は弾もう、ミスター・ブラウン。
He drives a hard bargain. I managed to talk him into giving us a temporary replacement TV in exchange for the repair fee and carry it back up to the lab. Oh hey, new text. It's from Mayuri. Upa is super popular, you know? Even more popular than the hero Kakeru-kun. Kakeru-kun. They're so cute, I want to collect them all. It's like how you used to collect It's like how you used to collect black fingerless gloves, remember? I used to love wearing fingerless gloves, but I don't know. I guess it got kind of overused. I think there were a couple times where we just got like regular gloves and just cut off the fingertips and kind of pretended they were fingerless gloves. But then you had like the frayed ends and eventually they just go bad. Anyway, should I reply? Since we're not too concerned about playing past the first chapter, I'm just going to go ahead and choose the first option. I have no idea who that is. I don't watch bad anime. Oh man. Criticizing her choice in anime. Her tastes in anime. There, that should do it. Anyway, once it got dark, I started looking for more information on the mass disappearance phenomenon and Makase Kurisu's stabbing. I searched through a number of news sites only to turn up nothing. Dude's got a mouse in one hand and corn on the cob in the other. Where's the butter? So were those hallucinations after all? But while I was looking at Channel, I noticed that a thread was posted by a John Titer. Ad Channel is almost like a mix of Twitter and 4chan. Or is it Reddit? I'm pretty sure this predates Reddit's popularity. Or maybe It was about the same time as Reddit's popularity. Wait, John Titor is back? John Titor appeared on an American BBS 10 years ago, claiming to be a time traveler. For those of you who are not familiar with what BBSs are, they're kind of like bulletin boards that were popular before the internet became modernized. I think around like maybe the early 2000s, the internet started shifting towards what we use it as we know it, like the websites and everything. And you could use the search engine to find whatever website you want to browse through. But early on, I think I remember the internet was far more difficult to browse around, because if you really wanted to find something, you pretty much went onto like bulletin boards and tried to talk to other people that were using the internet at the time to figure out where you wanted to go and what you wanted to find. After Yahoo search and Google search became popular and blew up, well, those kind of websites went away. Anyway, Titor claimed to have traveled from the year 2036 in order to obtain an old computer, the IBM 5100. His claims started quite a storm among the BBS denizens. IBN is a stand-in for IBM. Yes, I think IBM invented floppy disks and hard disks. Man, that has me feeling dated. When I was in like junior high school, we actually had to save our files to floppy disks. Flash drives hadn't become accessible yet at the time. They were still too expensive, and most computers didn't even have USB drives anyway. But then starting around, I think it was a flip between like 7th and 8th grade for me, which would have been around 2003 to 2005-ish, that we finally started getting affordable flash drives. Titor also made several accurate, if fragmentary, predictions of future events. The start of the Iraq War and the spread of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, also known as mad cow disease, for example. Did he also predict 9/11? To prove he was from the future, he explained the principles behind his time machine and provided pictures of its operation manual. But after about 4 months, he disappeared without ever revealing his identity. At one point, his predictions gained popularity even in Japan. We're going to go down that conspiracy theory rabbit hole. Yes, he certainly did get some things right. But on the other hand, he missed several others. Some of his posts contradicted each other too. That's why to this day, most people doubt his authenticity as a time traveler. So after 10 years of silence, that same John Titor is now on a Japanese BBS? Crazy, I know. He's on 4chan. Ridiculous, it's obviously a troll. First of all, John Titor is American, yet now he's posting on @channel in Japanese. Oh, I love this. In the original, this section would play out almost like a website you would browse. Yes, you're expected to scroll through the list of comments almost as if you were on Reddit or Twitter. Anyway, this is what he wrote. I don't expect you to believe that I came from the year 2036. I see that everyone on this world line would like to know more about my time machine. Time travel technology was developed by CERN. They completed the first time machine in 2034. CERN in this game is also another stand-in for a real-life organization called CERN, spelled C-E-R-N, I think. Oh yeah. Let's try to roll through some of the previous comments. Or actually, no, never mind. It won't let us go back any further. Time Traveler. Huh, no one believes them. More details on the time machine. Do they sell time machines? How much do they cost? I've got about 100 million yen saved. Can you send me one? I knew it. What's a world line? Holy shit, I want to redo my life with time machine. Oh man, this is like Twitter all over again. White rice is good. It's the thing that divides the north from the south, right? Give up the act, troll. CERN, huh? Haven't heard that one before. Still, if you wish to start a conspiracy theory, you should present more detailed evidence. So who are you, a CERN insider? No one believes them. When I hear conspiracy theory, I think Freemasons. Why put this on CERN in the first place? It's not like they're some evil lab. They've never even officially announced that they were researching time travel. Unless you're saying their particle physics works somehow. Excuse me, unless you're saying their particle physics works somehow more into time travel stuff. Here's their official site. It's in English, though. The hell are y'all saying? Use words I know. He's super... Oh my god, man, it's dumb. Anyways, there's a lot of, like, Japanese influences here. Yeah, I can't assess this properly. How am I supposed to keep abreast of the situation when this perv is making things up? No one knows what CERN is. Is anyone even funding time travel research? Nah, just Google CERN. It ain't that hard. So just like in real life, you have spam mixed in as well. And some very annoying comments as well. Anyway, CERN, also known as the Society for European Nuclear Research. The name CERN is an acronym from the French Société Européenne pour la... Excuse my French. I don't even know. Research Nucleaire. It's the world's largest particle physics research facility located just outside of Geneva, Switzerland. It sits on the border of France and Switzerland and contains banks, libraries, post offices, and even dorms on its campus. Particle physicists from all over the world gather at CERN to conduct experiments. In addition, CERN currently employs several thousand full-time personnel. What's your point? Yeah, we're meant to read through all of this like idiots, I guess. Well, there's actually useful information here. Especially because these messaging boards, they'll actually play into the plot. Anyway, it's a research facility where they study particles with the LHC and stuff. Since it's led by Europe, there aren't any Americans there, but there should be a Japanese research team. Quite fascinating. We also have a stand-in for YouTube as well. It's called MewTube. No relation to Pokemon. Yeah, how the hell do you know this stuff? LHC means scary. Large hentai collection. Yeah, that's what it means. Anyway, I'm in India. That news scared the hell out of me. No. LHC stands for Large Hadron Collider. But CERN faced lawsuits in the West, so they're not completely in the clear either. No one really knows what a Large Hadron Collider is. I googled the LHC and damn, that thing's cool. It's built 100 meters underground along the French-Swiss border. It's 27 kilometers in length, but about the length of the Yamanote line. Anyway, enough of that. Where'd Tighter go? Plus, the accelerators inside the rings are in a vacuum, right? I really don't get it, but it sounds cool. Actually, what does it even accelerate? Oh, this account. Keep an eye on this name. It's going to be relevant later. Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha. I don't know what they're saying about rice and Kamehameha, but I mean, they'd be dealing with quantum teleportation, right? And modern sci-fi is always talking about taking micro-level stuff to a macro level to develop time machines or teleporters. It has a basis in reality too. The microscopic world can provide hints as to how to solve our macro problems. Not that I'm trying to back up John Titor or anything. Behold, he is a time traveler from the year 2036. You know, 2036 honestly doesn't feel very long from now, too. It's already 2024. Who knows, in 12 short years, maybe we might find out the secrets to time travel. Anyway, CERN has a monopoly on time machines. Not even the most powerful nations on Earth can acquire one. To say nothing of private citizens, CERN use their time machine for power. By 2036, the world has become a dystopia. There is no war, no conflict. However, that is a false peace founded on the complete eradication of liberty. By the way, what does LOL mean? Get a load of this guy. Why did you come to this time? Was the Akiba satellite crash your doing? Wait, guys. Titor-san doesn't understand at-channel lingo. Let's keep it simple, okay? If you know what I mean. What the heck is a trip code? Anyway, what does it feel like to time travel? I'm going to try my best to skip through the lazy, bad ones, all those comments, and get to more interesting stuff. So the Shibuya earthquake last year was Titor's doing. Interesting thing about this comment. This game takes place in the same universe as Chaos Head, the first game in the Science Adventure series. If you have not played Chaos Head and don't know what I'm referring to, don't worry about it. Just understand that there's, I think, probably one universe where all of these games take place in the same period. So you got Chaos Head and Chaos Child, Steins Gate 0, and I forgot what the other one's called. Oh, Robotics Notes, I think. And then there's Anonymous Code, but I've never played Anonymous Code yet. Anyway. Strongly agreed. Destroy all the monopolies. Conflict yields nothing but death. Apparently this person likes the dystopia better than conflict. But what if Titor's a real perpetrator behind the New Gen murders too? I kind of forget, is the Shibuya earthquakes and the New Gen murders all in the same game, or is that Chaos Child? I forget. But someone's getting inside. Don't cats come back to life in the quantum realm or something? Can we just blame everything on Titor at this point? All the misfortune in the world, my stomach ache, everything. Idiots. All of them idiots. If CERN has a monopoly, then I don't get to travel. If I don't get to travel, you don't get to travel. Is time travel established as a legit business by 2036? If so, it wouldn't be unreasonable to assume that many other time travelers have visited our time, and there may be more threads about coming into contact with them online. Yeah. Wouldn't that be crazy if we could somehow meet a time traveler in our current time period? What would they be able to tell us? But asking the real questions here, we're headed toward a dystopia? There's no point in living now, is there? Oh no. Time for all the good kids to go to bed. Oh, come on, dude. Why would you post that? In 20 years, I'll be dead anyway. Oh yeah, in about 100 years, most people living now would probably be dead anyway too. Anyway, don't make fun of Titan. If you're a time traveler, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow in Hokkaido? Nothing very important. Just make a time machine outside of CERN. Easy. You know what? That's exactly what we're gonna do. Soon, anyway. You looking for a time traveler's wife? You know, I adore that movie. Even if it's kind of hokey. Anyway, how many times have the Tigers won the championship? Probably none. I have no idea how many times the Hanshin Tigers have won, but I'm assuming it probably hasn't won any right now. I wonder what kind of anime is popular in 2036. Probably Gundam. Gundam and, I don't know, maybe Dragon Ball Z. Or whatever iteration of Dragon Ball. And probably safe to say Naruto, I guess. We need Mulder. Those who control time control the world. So if I change the channel on my TV, would that change something in the year 2036? Oh, you don't even know the half of it. Honestly, if my world, a dystopian world, is one where anime is regulated. Yeah, wouldn't that be terrible? We're getting a lot of irrelevant posts right now, so we're just going to go ahead and skip through most of this. I don't think we need to read through all of this. Let's just find the more important ones. I told you, pink-haired heroines aren't my type. Again, another reference to Chaos Child and Chaos Code. Or Chaos Child and Chaos Head, not Chaos Code. Yuri is utopian. That guy has interesting tastes. Is an Earth destroyed by 2036? Well, about that. The Lord of Terror is descending upon us. No, we're not playing Diablo. Will there be cute girl androids in 2030? Ew. Man, if anything, if androids become a thing in the future, let's not give any to him. Anyway, where is John Titor? If you're interested in reading through most of this, just pause the video. I'm just going to continue to scroll down until we reach the end. Where the heck is John Titer's comments? Yeah, so where the heck is the rest of the story? This is about as bad as trying to scroll through Twitter and trying to find the relevant comments. Oh, here we go. My head's spinning from all of your questions. I don't know where to start. I'll just try to explain as much as I can. I'll start by talking about the experience of time travel. A successful trip requires a great deal of G-force, normally about 2 Gs. When you begin, a gravitational field is generated around both the time machine and the passenger. Things are practically pitch dark while you're traveling through time, but you can see some rainbow-colored particles floating around. Because you travel in a vacuum, longer trips require you to have oxygen tanks at the ready. At full power, it takes about 1 hour to travel 10 years. Can someone do the conversion for that? How far are you able to travel in 1 hour for 10 years? I'm pretty sure there's some way to convert that from 10 light years to 1 hour or something like that. How do you expect me to live in a world without Moe? Spoken like a real Japanese netizen. Do 10 years per hour. Okay, there we go. There's the conversion. I thought passenger planes were more like 1.5 Gs. Thank you for the details. Dealing with 2 Gs for 1 hour all while in a vacuum sounds pretty stressful for the passenger. Man. I heard some roller coasters are like 2 Gs. I would love to go into an airplane one time and feel what it feels like to fly around. Where is the relevant comments? Here we go. I came here to change my present. In other words, your future. My mission is to destroy CERN's dystopia and restore freedom to the world. This is a wonderful time you're living in. Everyone is free. Well, you will lose it all in just 20 short years. It is vitally important that you understand what the future has in store. What is a trip code? I might get one if you tell me what it is. I shudder to think what might happen in 20 more years. I think I've got a solid 50 more years in me. Probably another 20 years after that if I'm lucky. You said only CERN has time machines. You have a time machine. That must mean you're working for CERN. Therefore, your goal can be to destroy CERN's dystopia. You're a fraud. How can CERN take over the world in just 20 years? Look at the Middle East. You've been reading too much manga if you think you can get those guys to stop killing each other. Man, in this day and age, that's pretty relevant. 50 years. Yeah, I would love to make it another 50 years. I haven't even made it to my first 50 years. But living another 50 years, give or take another maybe 15 after that, I would love that. Anything beyond that is probably just going to be icing on the cake or my worst nightmare. Anyway, who asked you to change the future? You trying to play God? If they're promising world peace, then I, for one, welcome our new CERN overlords. Yeah, if I lived another 50 more years, I'd probably be 83, 84 probably. What kind of game is this? Steins Gate Elite is a visual novel. But it's not a visual novel in the usual sense because this is an adaptation of an anime. It basically just took the visual novel, streamlined it, and also threw in the anime voice acting and backgrounds and animations as well. The original just had artwork. There was little to no animations or voice acting either. But I love the story in this, so if you have the chance, maybe check out the anime if you're interested in watching that instead of just reading the story. But if you have the chance to read the original visual novel, that thing is golden. It won't be destroyed. Today, CERN issued an official announcement saying it's not gonna happen, dumbass. Yeah, that's a real story. Anyway, we're just reading through this game's version of Twitter. I think if you have Hulu, it might be on over there. I remember watching it on Hulu like years ago. Beyond that, you might be able to find it on Crunchyroll or something. Or if not that, go on some sort of bootleg website. You can probably find it there. I used to have a whole bunch of websites for like bootleg animes, but kind of lost the websites because I wasn't using them and I forgot the names. Anyway, weird to think that we're free right now. No, people do not do their own research in the future, as evidenced by Twitter. I've seen movies where changing the past significantly changes the future. What if the future goes through some catastrophic change because you decided for your own personal reasons to change the past? This is probably the plot of Back to the Future. Part 1, 2, and 3. I swear, they probably had like a whole bunch of developers just write up these responses or something, because no way one person just had the time to like write all these like random comments. Batting cage, dystopia destruction. Oxygen tanks remind me of spaceships. It must not have been easy getting to 2010. We've got to destroy the world to save it. Oh, wouldn't that be the truth? Anyway, I'm going to skip the more irrelevant stuff. This part takes a while to get through. I mean, you're free to like just skip through the rest of this portion if you want to. You do lose some relevant material, but this takes a long time to go through. Yeah, I don't see why they had to replicate the experience of Twitter and Reddit here. I already have enough of a hard time trying to find the info I want from Reddit. Here we go. My time machine is a more like prototype that was created based on technology we stole from CERN. Its capabilities are limited. To put 2036 in a nutshell, basically Earth is being ruled by a dictatorship. The dictatorship strictly regulates humanity without giving them any privacy. Everything from what we eat, where we live, and even who we marry are automatically decided for us. Anybody who opposes the dictatorship will be killed mercilessly. There are no trials. Essentially the plot of 1984. Are you saying that CERN is a dictator? Do you even know what kind of organization CERN is? And of course, obviously, OP is a troll. So if we find his dad and kill him, then this time traveler will never be born and we won't have to listen to this bullshit. Right? Yes, right. By the way, can you meet your past self by time traveling? What happens then? Yes, if you do that, we won't have to read any of this bull crap. Oh man, you know this is authentic when you have trolling like this. Call him a robber, but to be able to engineer a time machine is pretty impressive. Oh, if I had that time travel machine. Think of the millions we could make. Also, this comment apparently too. If there are no travels and the... Excuse me, not travels. If there are no trials, then the world's lawyers have no jobs. Yeah, reading simulator. Well, I mean, a visual novel is a book. Only except in this case, we're simulating a whole Twitter thread. Thank goodness it's only in text though, because imagine if there were images here, we would probably get banned from streaming this very quickly. Stay in school? That's a reasonable choice. Staying in school is very reasonable. I mean, some folks would probably say, hey, I'm going to go back and invest in Bitcoin. Is the death penalty more efficient in 2036? Okay, we only get Titer's point of view here, but if you actually think about it, CERN hasn't done anything wrong, have they? I'm starting to think Titer is the real problem here. Is he the problem? Avatar game. No, I haven't played the Avatar game. It's that one... I think the water one or something like that, or is it the jungle one? That's kind of like in VR-ish. Anyway, my theory is that even if a black hole is produced, it will be too small and will immediately vaporize. I love the science fiction in this game. I used to be a huge science geek in high school. I never did pass my AP Physics test though. I kind of failed that one. If you're unfamiliar with what AP Physics is, it's basically like college level physics in high school, essentially. Frontiers of Pandora, no, I have not played that. I haven't even seen the second movie. I've watched the first movie, but that was like, I watched it in theaters like twice with the 3D glasses, I think. Or was that once? No, I think I only saw that once. I saw Jurassic World twice though. saw Jurassic World twice, but Avatar, the first movie, I actually saw, I think, around the release week or weekend, and it was in 3D, back when they still had 3D movies with the glasses and everything. But yeah, remember 3D movies and 3D TVs? That was a definitely weird time frame. I used to hate watching those 3D movies. Wear the 3D glasses. I'd have to put them over my actual glasses. And it made for a very uncomfortable watching experience, because you're watching the movie through like 4 different lenses. Anyway, let's keep going here. Anyone know what those pounded fish cakes are really made of? Fish cakes are just made out of like... Oh wait a minute. I thought he meant crab cakes. Crab cakes, or not crab cakes. Imitation crab is made out of fish. Chatting on @Chan at an internet cafe sounds like us. You guys went high and drunk to see Ted? I did a similar thing when Doctor Strange came out. We didn't get high though, but we got pretty drunk at the time and walked 3 miles down to the movie theater. By the time we made it to the movie theater, we were still buzzing. My head was still kind of spinning when they did the mirror dimension, and it was trippy as hell. Not because, the mirror dimension was trippy or anything. It was just because my head was still spinning from all the alcohol. So when you went through the mirror dimension, it's like your head was just spinning around in the mirror dimension, and what the hell was that thing when everything just came crashing through? Yeah, that did me no favors. I think I had like 8 shots, and then we walked straight down to the movie theater. That was fun. I think it was around Thanksgiving too, so for us, probably like the last Thursday of November in 2016. I want to say it was around that time period. It was either the Wednesday or the Thursday of Thanksgiving. Oops. Ah, come on. Are we going to have to keep scrolling through this? There's so much text here. I seem to remember the original game, when we got to these little text blurs, you could scroll through things much easier. Instead here, we have to go through everything individually, and this is seriously killing the pace of the stream. I'm going to try my best to speed things up here, because all of this is irrelevant to what we're actually looking for, which is John Titer's comments. Just pretend we're the main character and we're flipping through Twitter. There is a lot of stuff here to read. And in July 28, 2010, what was I doing in 2010 at the same time period? It's hard to say because, man, I was super busy back at that time period. I think I was playing a lot of Dragon Age at that point. No, never mind. Probably not Dragon Age. I was probably playing something else. I'll probably have to look it up. Anyway, where the heck is John Titer? This also brings me back to some of the days where I just spent like time browsing 4chan. Not because I really wanted to get into it. I was just wondering, like, what the heck is 4chan? So I just Googled it, went onto it, and here we go. You're talking about the so-called grandfather paradox. That has been debunked. This world line has a divergence of 0.571024% compared to the world line I came from. Killing my father would alter divergence, creating a world line where my father is dead. However, it would not erase this world line. I would go on existing. CERN is a particle physics research institution that hasn't changed in 2036. It is possible to meet your past self. The prevailing theory in my time is that nothing would happen. I, however, haven't met my past self. So think about that. Not only are we talking about time travel, we're talking about parallel realities. That makes things super complicated, right? Yeah, post-time travel time machine pics or GTFO. Yes, now we're talking about the many worlds interpretation. Research institution taking over the world. So imagine there's a world line in which you're existing, but you're not playing video games. Is that heaven or hell? Would you like that you? Would you hate that you? What if that version of you was not a nerd, but a jock? By the way, you heard of Schrodinger's cat, right? There are currently two main interpretations. One of them is the many worlds interpretation, aka the Everett interpretation. If you're not familiar with Schrodinger's cat, don't worry. It's something that we'll learn as we continue to play. Yeah, there are no paradoxes here. So what do you mean by world line divergence rate? That divergence rate is something that will be important for the game later. Trying to understand quantum mechanics is a headache. You know, that's one of the good things about this game. It explains quantum mechanics in a way that even the most uneducated of us would understand. I do not feel the need to prove that I am what I say I am. I am only posting these messages on a whim. My mission comes first. What are world lines? Can you meet yourself from another world line? What happens if you do? Also, a late reply, but a trip code is a way to identify posters. Put hashtag password after your name. I think that's probably a 4chan thing. "4chan," man, I haven't been on there in years now. Anyway, there's nothing but conspiracy theories and random pointless junk on 4chan nowadays. Give me the too long didn't read version. Anyway, this is what Schrodinger's cat is. A cat goes inside a box on its own and sleeps. Kinda. Come on, come on, come on. Let's keep going. This is getting pretty slow. I think we're just gonna have to skip through most of this. Okay, here we go. Schrodinger's cat is the most famous quantum theory paradox. To put it simply, you have a box with a cat, a poison gas emission device, and radium, a radioactive substance. When the radium releases alpha particles, a sensor will go off and release the gas, and the cat will die. Say that after an hour, there is a 50% chance that the alpha particles will be released. That means the ratio of finding the cat dead versus alive after opening the box after an hour has passed is 1 to 1. Then what of the cat before opening the box? Einstein says that even without opening the box and verifying it, the cat is either alive or dead. That's true because you have a 50-50% chance. If you don't open the box and you can't tell, on the one hand, it's 50% completely alive, or on the complete other hand, is 50% most likely dead. That's one way of explaining it, but you'll never find out what truly happens until you open the box and look at the cat. To me, that sounds like a pretty cruel way to kill a cat. Anyway, why is it not Schrodinger's dog? Who knows? Maybe Schrodinger just really liked cats. Or hated cats. What if in another world line, it was called Schrodinger's dog? Also, hint, it has been proven that Schrodinger's cat is not a paradox. Cool. Now we're talking about a cat abuse experiment. Exactly. They didn't do this experiment, did they? Who's to say they didn't? Maybe they did do it and you're living in the timeline where, maybe they did plan to do it, but you're living in the timeline where they didn't actually do it. Things to consider. Oh, by the way, someone already mentioned this in this thread, but there are currently two different ways of interpreting the Schrodinger's cat experiment. The Copenhagen interpretation and the Everett interpretation. The many worlds interpretation is tied to the latter. No one knows what it truly is. Anyway, the Copenhagen interpretation. Contrary to the determinism concept posed by Einstein, the Copenhagen interpretation is one that takes a quantum theory approach. It says that the cat is both alive and dead until the box is opened, whereby the two states becomes either one or the other as soon as an observation occurs. Once the box is opened and the cat is observed to be alive, it is retroactively determined that the cat was alive before the box was opened. If the cat is dead, it would be determined then that the cat was dead before the box was opened. This is a very weird thought experiment, and probably beyond the scope of my understanding. At least right now it is. I guess what it's saying is that both instances can be true, but until you open the box, you can't know for sure which one is actually true. Either the cat was alive because you opened the box and saw it was alive, or the cat is dead because you opened the box and you saw the cat was dead. It's weird logic. But the cat did nothing wrong. The many worlds interpretation, the concept of the observer who found the cat alive in the box and the observer who found the cat dead in the box are superpositioned and then separated. It's called the Everett interpretation because a man named Hugh Everett thought of it. It's also called the Everett-Wheeler model. So I'm guessing what this means is that both instances are true, and then once you find out which one occurred, that proves that whatever happened did actually happen. It's very complicated and hard to wrap your head around. But this explains it all. Quantum theory is some crazy BS. But it's apparently true because someone has found a way to model it and perhaps observe it as well. Yeah, we're going down the conspiracy theory nut hole here. But that's what this game is all about. If you love time travel and conspiracy theories about it, this is the type of game that is made for you. And since a lot of my favorite movies have a lot to do with time travel, this is right up my alley. You got the Terminator, Terminator 2, Back to the Future, Futurama, although that isn't a movie. What else can I think of? The Time Traveler's Wife. All sorts of good stuff. Some of it I can't even remember at the moment. By the way, John Titor, you still breathing? Where'd he go? Here we go. World lines are like an infinite number of rivers flowing in parallel. Along the way, they are constantly branching out into new world lines. This is called divergence. For example, whether or not you post on this message board has practically no effect on this world line's divergence. But if you were murdered, let's say, then divergence would change. However, it would only change by about 0.000002%, if that. A single human being's death is not terribly significant on a global scale. Wars, disasters, acts of terrorism, and other events that cause widespread death and destruction have a much greater effect on divergence. Thanks for telling me about trip codes. I'll make sure to use this one from now on. I'm starting to get tired, so let's pick it up again tomorrow. It's been fun talking to everyone. And I think that about wraps things up here for John Titor. There we go. Let's move on. It took a while, but we made it through. I read through the entire thread. Yeah, because you made us. But archives were already popping up. Of course, there have been sites dedicated to John Titor for years now. This new John Titor is clearly an imposter. In fact, imposter is too kind a word. This is probably all copy pasta. Imagine having to read through all of this in Japanese characters. I see there's a lot of the regular hiragana stuff, but then there's not a whole lot of katakana. I mean, some of it is there, but then there's also a lot of kanji as well. I'm not the greatest at reading through all of this. I used to be able to at one point in time. I took a Japanese class in college, aced it, and forgot all my Japanese in like a year. It kind of stinks. I did learn to read and write in the 3 systems too. Well, 4 systems if you count Romaji, but that's completely different. Anyway, there are many Titor fanatics on @channel. He's not exactly a household name in Japan, but I doubt anyone would fall for this level of trolling. As I continue to read, however, I find the response the opposite of what I expected. Everyone is accepting this time traveler as if this were his first appearance. Nobody has even mentioned his appearance 10 years ago. Finding this strange, I try posting a retort, but everyone ignores me. What the hell? You can figure this out if you do a little research, people. There's the original John Titor thread archive in English for one thing. Plenty of blogs about Titor in Japanese too. The mystery deepens. I enter John Titor's name into a search engine. 12 matches. Wait, only 12? Moreover, all 12 are about the current Titor's postings on @channel. I can't find a single trace of the Titor from 10 years ago. I try searching John Titor. Bizarre, this just can't be. I searched for information on Titor a few years ago. Back then I got tens of thousands of hits. Is this search engine filtered? Probably. You're using Google. It probably is filtered. I try searching on another site just to make sure, but it gives me the same result. What is this madness? It feels like I've stumbled onto another plane of reality. Could this be another organization conspiracy? By the way, whenever he refers to the organization, that's his own conspiracy theory, not... Well... Yeah, conspiracy theory rabbit hole that he's kind of thrown his nut into. No one else knows about the organization. But I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this. These past 2 days, I've been surrounded by nothing but chaos and confusion. Hold on. I just remembered. I know I purchased a book about Titor a few years ago. I scoured the bookshelf for it, but it's nowhere to be found. It's supposed to be right here. Impossible. How could this be? I'll call Daru. He'll know about Titor for sure.
はい。
俺だ。状況は。
オカリンさ、電話の時ぐらいそういうのやめれ。
ジョン・タイターについて把握しているのかと聞いている。
ちっとも話が見えない件について。
内密に話がある。
I quickly made plans to meet with him at May Queen plus Nyan Squared tomorrow afternoon and hung up the phone. What is going on, and why does he only remember John Titor? Anyway, it's a text message from Lukako. Are you really okay with yesterday's exorcism? I feel like a more traditional ceremony would have been better. I'm worried something might happen to you because my exorcism wasn't strong enough. It bothers me so much I can't sleep at night. P.S. Because of that, I couldn't do more than 3 practice swings with Samidare. Should I reply? Why not? Let's reply with exorcism. It wasn't bad, just a little clumsy. You're a servant of the gods. You need to project dignity and confidence. Work on it. There, that should do it. I used to have a phone like this. May Queen plus Nyan Squared is only a 3-minute walk from the lab. Coming from Kurame Bashidori, take a left at Sumakao Isaka Crossing and you'll find it. Man, my Japanese is pretty bad. Because I'd planned to meet with Daru in the morning, or in the afternoon, I decided to kill some time at the university before heading over. It's usually busy in Akiba during summer break, but now it's even busier because of the Radicon incident. So many people. Living in Akiba. Living in Akiba, you get used to crowds and big events, but a gathering of this size is unusual. But I still don't understand what I saw yesterday. I've half accepted that the mass disappearance was just my imagination. Maybe I've become unable to distinguish reality from fantasy, like the media likes to say about teenagers these days. With that thought in mind, I return my gaze to the street. Did someone just take a picture? Her phone was clearly pointed at me. I tried to cover my face, but not quickly enough. It's a tourist. The organization is after me, so I can't risk that photo getting out.
Wait! ちょっと、そこで携帯カメラを使っているあなた、待ってください。ってよせ、通るんじゃない。まさか機関の差し金か。
She completely ignores my objection. And then she goes back to looking at her phone.
質問に答えてもらいたいんですがね。あなたは機関の人間か。
If she is, then I may have to take suitable measures. Yeah, grab her phone, break it. A man like me is not to be underestimated.
違うのか。違うとしても問題がありますよ。俺の写真を持っていると機関に知られれば、あなたにも奴らの魔の手が伸びるかもしれない。とにかく今撮った俺の写真を即刻削除してほしい。
Is she even listening? Probably. Also, I recommend if you have the chance to watch this anime, check it out in Japanese. I mean, the English dub is just fine, but I think the Japanese does a much better job at conveying emotion.
謝る。不快にさせたなら。
謝るより先に写真を削除してほしいわけだが。
風景撮ってた。
風景を撮っていた？観光客？
証明、自分が今日どこを歩いたか。
変なやつだな。
桐生萌か。名前。
Yes, that's her name. She's introducing herself. And no, her name is not Kazama Kiryu. It's Kiryu Moeka. That wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. It's nice and all, but I just want her to delete that photo.
聞きたいことがある。いい？
それより写真を。
都市伝説秋葉原の 知らない。
Aha. Conspiracy theories and urban legends. On top of the time traveling and parallel dimensions. Parallel universes. What is she talking about?
幻のレトロ PC。
レトロ PC？
秋葉原のどこかにあるらしくて、それが
幻のレトロ PC というとキュッパチあたりか？
A 98? What the heck is a 98? No idea what this is. I thought they were referring to Windows 98. I forget if Windows 97 or 98 was the first Windows system I ever tried to use. My uncle had a PC back in the late 90s, and boy, was that thing rough to use. We had to use 56K internet to get it to work. And I think at that time we were either using either AOL or NetZero, if that rings any bells. But are 98s really that hard to find?
いいえ、これ
It looks kind of familiar. By the way, that phone has some amazing photographic qualities because I had a phone around this same time period and it did not take pictures that great. And yes, even though there were smartphones out at the same time as well, I didn't have an iPhone. I don't think anybody in my family owned an iPhone until well into 2011, 2012. And even then, my dad didn't even get one until like 2015-ish. Hell, we didn't even own Apple products until around late 2014, if not 2015.
IBN 5100。
ジョン・タイターが手に入れようとした PC か？
見たことは？
ない。名前を知ってるぐらいだ。
Is it a coincidence? Oh yeah. This is something that's completely foreign to me as well. PCs in the 80s were something else entirely. They had like an integrated, kind of like a monitor, not really. There was a screen, essentially, like a terminal screen. Think Fallout. No.
これもシュタインズゲートの選択かもしれん。
詳しい人知らない？
ダルならば詳しく知っているかもな。そいつは俺のマイフェイバリットライトアームであるスーパーハッカーでな。MI6 の中枢にすらハッキングできる実力の持ち主なのだ。
The MI6 part is a slight exaggeration. Would you believe that he would be able to hack into James Bond's computer? Probably not. If that ever did happen, Men in Black would break down our door and take us away. Also, that's a bit of foreshadowing. But the Super Haka part is true. The depth of his computer knowledge is uncanny. For an 18-year-old. Speaking of Daru, I'm supposed to meet him at May Queen plus Nyan squared. I don't have time to stand and chat with some crazy lady I don't know.
では俺は行く。女よ。メディアスクラムもほどほどにな。
I try to make a smooth exit one-liner and everything, but she grabs my sleeve before I can disappear into the crowd.
何をする？
メルアド、教えて。
Yeah, I can believe it. The 15-year-old anyway. Although I wonder if it's, hacking or is it phishing, because anyone can do like a phishing scheme. You just have to know the right emails and also know whether the person you're sending a phishing email to is a complete amateur or an idiot.
何が狙いだ?
Because with like a phishing scheme, if the person you're sending to it is an idiot, then you just have to be able to cover your tracks.
スーパーハッカーの。
But seeing as how they knew it was a 15-year-old that got in, he probably didn't cover his tracks. Well, I guess she wants to hear Daru's story. It's my fault for mentioning him. Well, I'm meeting up with Daru, so why don't I just take her along? I'll take a glance at that news story. No, wait a second. This could be a devious trap. Reminds me of all those other news stories about, like, teenage hackers that got into trouble with, like, Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft even. But a lot of those cases as well were phishing schemes. Not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to break into this website. It was more like, I'm going to send this email and trick him into giving me his password. Anyway, maybe she's really a spy sent to kidnap Daru.
断る。今ダルを失うわけにはいかん。
Unperturbed, she shows me her phone again. On the screen is the picture of me that she took. Oh no, she's blackmailing him.
ゲーまだ削除していなかったのか？
教えてくれたら削除する。
この俺を脅すとは。貴様、何者だ？
私はアークリライトのバイト。
なんだそれは。
ヘンプロ秋葉原にある。
One of those companies that writes articles for magazines?
貴様、俺の写真を無断で記事にするつもりだな。
Yes, she's going to publicize the mad scientist of Akiba. They're going to unveil who he is. I can see the headlines now. That's all the organization will need to turn Akiba into a sea of blood. No, I must avoid that gruesome outcome at all costs. I have no choice.
交換条件に乗ろう。
At any rate, as long as she has that photo, I have no way of knowing how it might be used. I pull up my email address and show it to her. The woman is typing with terrifying speed, faster than my fingers could ever dream of. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Typing with the number pad was insane. Nowadays you have like a keypad, right? On your smart device or whatever, but back then when you had like analog buttons, you had to like press each button every single time in order to get the letter you wanted. It seems she has finished and I used to suck at typing with a number keypad, so I had one of those phones where you could just turn it to the side, push up the screen, and then you would have the easily accessible analog keypad. The phone didn't have like a touch keypad. You had to like push the phone up in order to access it. Times were weird back then. I dub her power Shining Finger. That sounds worse in my head. Anyway, her magical thumb types cursed emails at 255 characters per minute. Whoever receives one dies. Kind of like that one urban myth about, you know, the tape. Also, remember when chain mails were a thing? You had to like send this letter to someone else, otherwise you would be a victim or whatever. I really dislike that spam, especially once it became like emails and like message posts on MySpace. Anyway, she can type 255 curse words per minute.
名前は
おーいん今日もマッドサイエンティストだ。
どう書くの？こ
うなんだこれは、ふざけるな。俺のマナをバカにするつもりか。
Yes, because we're not using the alphabet, you kind of pretty much have to make it as you go along when it comes to writing out things with hiragana and perhaps katakana as well. Mostly because the characters represent syllables, not exactly letters.
ならば携帯を貸せ。俺が入力してやる。
She's super protective when it comes to her phone. But the woman swiftly avoids me, keeping her phone out of my reach. It feels as if she's rejecting my entire personhood. Anyway, she's obviously not going to hand her phone over, so I ask for her address instead. I'll send her a blank mail. I don't think you can do that nowadays. She told me her name a few minutes ago, but I forgot it already, so I enter her as Shining Finger. I don't need to type anything. It's just to give her my name. I already put her in my contacts. Just send a blank email to Shining Finger. And send.
Rintaro?
なぜその名を？
今のカラメールに。
Idiot. Anyway, this is why you don't have your real name as your signature. Damn. My email is still linked to my real name. He probably just forgot to delete it. I must change it at once. It's a little too late for that. She already has that on her phone.
それは世を忍ぶ仮の名だ。もう一度、法院の方の名前で送るから。
いいわ。これで。
何を言う？ 俺は岡部倫太郎ではなく法院京馬であって。画像は消したか？
I don't think so. She's lying.
メールするから聞いといてね。
何をだ？
都市伝説。
Yeah, that urban legend about the mysterious cursed computer. I almost forgot. And with that, the shining finger wanders off.
おかえりなさいませ、ご主人様。ああ、オカリンだ。
In this place, Mayuri is known as Maishi Nyanyan. We are at a cat-made cafe.
おかりん、おかえりなさいませ。ねえねえ、おかりん、マユシーは今気づいたんだけどね。オカリンとおかえりって似てるね。
So the Japanese word for welcome back whenever someone's coming back home or coming back to like a place they come back to a lot, the word is okaeri. So okaeri and okarin, it's kind of a pun. Whatever.
今日もよく来たにゃん。ゆっくりしていってね。
This maid, Ferris Nyanyan, her professional name of course, hits me with her trademark combo attack of cute cat-like gestures. She's May Queen plus Nyan Squared's most popular maid. Oh, I just realized Nyan Nyan is Nyan Squared. That's why they shortened it here.
ダルニャンも来てるにゃん。待ちぼうけしてるにゃん。
Imagine having cat-made cafes here in the States where everyone dresses up like a cat maid and speaks in cat puns. Anyway, Daru frequents this cafe because he's got a crush on Ferris. And I also have trouble dealing with his cat girl. She always finds a way to best me.
今日も期間打倒のための極秘会議かにゃ。
ああ、そんなところだ。
フェイリスも混ぜてほしいにゃ。
やめとけ。猫耳メイドが太刀打ちできるほど期間は甘くない。
そんなことないにゃ。フェイリスにはあの非奥義があるのにゃ。きっとお役に立てるにゃ。
何？あの非奥義、ついに得得したのか？
そうにゃ。嫌なコーチでの修行に耐え抜き、師匠の死も乗り越えて、フェイリスはついに手に入れたのにゃ。だから今日約束通りフェイリスの精霊会議に参加させてほしいにゃ。
お前、サンクチュアリに行くというのか？ダメだ。いくら非奥義を得得したとはいえ、あの場所はお前にはまだ早すぎる。
そんな約束したにゃ。にゃのに京馬が裏切るっていうのかにゃ。それにあの場所にはフェイリスのお兄ちゃんが。
Since when do you have a brother? And what the hell is this spirit conference anyway? The look on his face when the BSer doesn't believe someone else's BS. Yeah, they probably do have some sort of cafe around here somewhere. I mean, hell, we used to have a double shot coffee place around next to a high school. And if you're unfamiliar with what double shot coffee is, it's kind of like a drive-through coffee place where the baristas are all dressed in bikinis. That, however, has kind of closed down because we have a Dutch Bros and a Starbucks right around the corner. Not to mention a McDonald's and a Burger King, and now a Jack in the Box and a KFC and an Arco gas station and a 7-Eleven and a Chevron gas station, all within like one whole block. And it's like right next to a high school, so naturally they were the ones that got a boot because, well, everyone just went elsewhere. Whenever I talk with her, I run out of comebacks, which is really unusual for me. And then she takes the initiative, leaving me with nothing to do but listen to her fantasies. She's got even more weird, wacky fantasies than him. I mean, come on, you can only take it so far. There's a very clear difference between her stories and mine. Obviously, hers are not grounded in reality. As anyone can see, I speak nothing but the truth. Only the truth. While Ferris has only delusions and a made-up backstory. And something about cats. It's definitely the cats. I always have to play along. Is he now? That's why I feel like I can never best her. I didn't know it was a competition.
なんかわからないけど、マユシーもサンクチュアリっていうところに行きたいな。
I love how in the monitor in the background they have like this cutesy video of Ferris doing chores. She's the most popular one. Also, those photographs in the background kind of look like characters from Cardcaptor Sakura. I mean, hell, it does look like Sakura on the right and her best friend on the left.
来なくていい。この話はもう終わりだ。
今日まだけずるいにゃ。そうだよ。マユシーもフェリスちゃんもダメなんてね。オカリンは冷たいと思うのです。
フェリスとは誰だ？
フェリスちゃんはフェリスちゃんだよ。ね
Is she talking about this Ferris? Is that her real name? Have I been mistaken all this time? That's a disturbing thought.
あのね、マユシーは言いにくいからフェリスちゃんって短くしてるんだ。
なんだそういうことか。
なんだか女学院みたいでそれも悪くないにゃ。
いいからさっさと案内してくれ。俺はいつまでここに立っていればいいんだ。
ごめんなさいにゃ。ご主人様、ご案内にゃ。
Anyway, enough about all that nonsense. She guides me to Daru's table.
遅すぎでしょマジで。それで今フェイリスタンと何を話していたか詳しく。
聞きたいのか？どうせ誰には理解できない話だと思うが。
I know we're just reading his thoughts, but this is how I feel too. I didn't get any of it. It's nothing more than an amalgam of fantasy and delusion.
ああ、そっち系の話か。フェイリスタンとオカリンの会話は普通のオタじゃついていけない領域に達してるよな。オーラみたいなものが出てるっつうの？二人だけの固有結界張りやがって。許さない。絶対にだ。
I'm not even close to keeping up with her. We're just experiencing the life of weirdos with other weirdos. Basically, the anime club at my high school back when I was younger. Anyway, who's sending a message? It is from Lukako. Dad won't teach me how to be a priest. He keeps saying he has 30 years of work left in him, so he doesn't need my help. That doesn't explain why he keeps trying to teach me the ceremonial Miko dance, though. P.S. I did 10 practice swings with Samidare. Normally, Miko dances and ceremonial Miko practices are reserved for women. What does this say? The ceremonial Miko dance? But according to the legend of Amano Iwato, that means no. Don't tell me your father intends to open the gate, it's too soon. Whatever the hell that means. Is Lukako. Is he bored? I mean, probably. We're just gonna leave him on red.
で、僕になんか用事だった？
Oh, right. That computer. In my confrontations with Shining Finger and Catgirl, I almost forgot my original objective.
あと1時間ぐらいしたらラボに行くつもりだったんだけど。
内密で緊急の話があるのだ。ジョン・タイターは知っているよな。
ジョン・タイター？誰？
アメリカに10年ほど前に現れた自称未来人だ。お前とは以前こいつの話題をしたはずだぞ。
またオカリンのいつもの設定？
設定とか言うな。俺が話すことは全て真実だ。
ああ、めんどくせえ。じゃあ付き合ってやるけどさ、そのタイターってやつが未来人だっていうソースは？
待て、なんでそんな初耳のような言い方をする？
事実初耳だから。
忘れたわけではなく？
自信はないけど。
日本でもそいつに関する本が出ている。
その本を見せてくれたら思い出せるかも。
本当に何も知らないのか？
人の記憶力なんて結構曖昧なもんしょ。デジタルと違ってさ。
the cracks in this reality are already starting to show. I remember talking to Daru about John Titor back in high school. It was only idle talk, so it's possible that Daru forgot about it already. Daru's quite the internet addict after all. And the internet lets you choose what information you want to see. There's no guarantee Daru looked up info on John Titor. If he had, I doubt he would have forgotten so completely. Is it my memories that are mistaken or everyone else's?
だったら IBN5100 については
Doesn't it feel kind of weird where you have false memories and yet no one else remembers them either? I showed him the picture Shining Finger sent me.
へえ、オカリンがそんな PC を知ってるなんてね。やるじゃん。
知っているんだな。
IBN が1975年に発売したモデルっしょ。
That's right. The John Titor from 10 years ago mentioned that on an American message board. He traveled to 1975 first, obtained an IBM 5100, then leaped to 1998.
どんな PC なんだ？
値段高すぎの PC だな。黎明期だったからすげえ高くて、個人には手が出せなかったらしい。IBM の独自技術が詰まった、その当時にしては結構優秀な PC だったんだけどね。IBM は6年後の1981年に IBM-PC っていう大ヒットシリーズを発売してて、そっちの方が有名なわけ。つうか僕も IBM5100 の知識はネットのウィキを見たことがあるぐらいだぞ。
それが現在の秋葉にあるという都市伝説を聞いたことは？
おうおう、あるある。1ヶ月前ぐらいにネットで話題になったな。で、その噂を聞きつけたアットちゃんの有志が秋葉中のショップを探して回ったんだよ。フレパラのフレンドにゲチネって人がいるんだけど、その人が中心になってね。あの疾風陣雷のナイトハルトまで出張ってきたらしいけど、結局見つからなかったんだって。
Oh, this name. Neidhart der Blitzschnell. That's actually the handler name for another character in not quite a prequel, but I mean, Chaos Head was the first game in the Science Adventure series. He's the character that uses this handle. So the fact that they're referencing him is pretty interesting. Goes to show you that the universes are all connected.
じゃあ、都市伝説はデマだったということか。
さあ知らねえ。秋葉にはアンダーグラウンドなショップがたくさんあるし、案外どっかの怪しいショップにひょっこり転がっててもおかしくないんじゃね？
ふむ、なるほど。
Now, who could be texting right about now? What the hell is with this email? Sorry about earlier. I'm not used to talking with guys, so I was so nervous, teehee. Anyway, can you please times 1,000 ask the super hacker about the urban legend? Thanks, I'll text you again soon. Like it or not, Moeka. Disregarding the weird timing, is this really the gloomy, unsociable woman I'd met in front of Radicon? I can't believe she's already so friendly, considering we've just exchanged addresses. I don't know, maybe that's just the way that she writes emails? Or text messages? She's like a completely different person in this email. Does she have split personalities or something? I mean, some people can have different personalities when they're writing versus when they're speaking. I tell Daru to wait a bit as I start typing out a response. It's not like I trust her, but I figure I should tell her what I learned from Daru. The IBN 5100 is extremely rare. Message complete. And it's sent.
待たせたな、ダル。それで一つだけ確認したいんだが、 IBN5100 は世界滅亡の引き金になるアイテムなんだな。
なんでだよ。引き金にはならないし、世界滅亡もしないっつうの。
にゃに世界滅亡しちゃうのかにゃ。ご主人様、お待たせしましたにゃにゃ。オムライスにゃー。世界滅亡前にどうぞ召し上がれ。
おお、世界がやばい、きたー。フェイリスタンの丸文字の可愛さに僕もやばい。
ダルニャンダルニャン、フェイリス杯の件考えてくれたかにゃ。
ああ、もちろん僕も参加します。
フェイリス杯？なんだそれは。
次の日曜日にこの店でライネットの大会をやるのにゃ。フェイリスはその幹事である実行委員長、つまり言い出しっぺなのにゃ。よかったら今日も参加するにゃ。参加費はドリンク込みで1000円。フェイリスに勝てた人には商品として手作り料理を振る舞うにゃ。
無理無理。オカリンはライネットには詳しくないんだ。
にゃー、面白いのに。
Aw, poor Ferris. She meowed her way back to the counter. Not even mouthfuls of omelette rice could stop Daru's rambling about Ferris. His passion is truly overwhelming. I wish I had a chance to try Japanese omelette rice when I was in Japantown one time. Anyway, that's probably gonna have to wait until another time. I was too busy scarfing down the sushi rolls.
フェイリスタンは知る人ぞ知る実力派ライネッターなんだぜ。非公式の野良試合では400戦無敗なのさ。
ヒクソンかよ。
フェイリスタンが公式大会に出ないのが残念だよ。出れば優勝間違いなしなのに。
なんで出ないんだ。
この店のご主人様たちを第一に考えてるってことっしょ。店に迷惑をかけてまで大会には出ないってスタンス、明度の鏡だろマジで。それにマユシと同い年だから学校も行かなきゃいけないだろうし。
店に迷惑かけないと言っておきながら、フェイリス杯なるものを店で開くのか。
細けえことはいいんだよ。とりあえずフェイリスタンは可愛い。可愛いは正義。猫耳ロリメイドはけしからん。性的な意味で。それでいいだろう。
お前は結局2次元派なのか3次元派なのか、どちらなのだ。
あえて言おう。バイであると。
いろいろとフリーダムだな、ダルは。
よく言われます。さあせん。
Daru usually doesn't show enthusiasm for anything, but he does for Moe and Ferris. I wish he were this passionate about our experiments. I had to pull Daru away from Ferris so we could return to the lab. We arrived to find it hotter than a sauna in hell. I quickly open the windows, letting a small breeze blow in. It won't be enough. It's a text message from Ferris. You're more perceptive than I thought, yeah. So now you understand what's at stake. The Red Southern Cross will soon hatch, yeah. The time has come for Ferris to journey to the sanctuary and prepare for... I can say no more. The hell does that mean? Should I reply? I would say hell no. But... what are you talking about? Will you quit testing me with his mockery? I love how he doesn't even join in on the whole fantasizing. He just says, what the hell are you talking about? That should do it. I really wish we had an air conditioner. Yeah, they're barely 18 years old and they're just fresh college students. There ain't no money in their budget for an air conditioner. I turn on the computer. This is our PC for communal use among lab members. It still uses an old CRT monitor, so it looks ancient. I was using a CRT monitor all the way up until 2007. Past that, I didn't use any more CRT monitors, and I think for a good deal of time, I was just using a laptop from 2009 onwards. I wonder if the new titer is still posting. Oh no. Crap. Back to it we go. I see that everyone would like to know more about my time machine. I'm happy to explain. Just so you know, it's impossible to reproduce with current technology. Certain critical components won't exist until CERN invents them in 2034. Time travel works by altering gravity. Basically, you can think of it as using the twin paradox, but that alone isn't enough to reverse time. I think for tonight, I'm going to run through all the text messages here, and then we'll save the game and continue another time. And I'm going to try to speed things up by just scrolling through and reading. Ah, here we go. Okurin uses his own made-up name as a tag. It uses Tipler cylinders and curved black holes, doesn't it? Just like you said 10 years ago. And your time machine is a 1970s Chevy. I know all of it. Oh man. The replies. A Chevy is an American car, right? I'd rather go German with a BMW. Why not go all the way and get a Porsche or something? Why a BMW? If you were to get a German car and you got a BMW, I mean, it's okay, but there are better German brands out there anyway. Begun the Chuny Wars have. The Chuny Wars. There's a term in this game called Chuny something Byo. It's basically a term for like people who never grew up. Where is it? I'll find it right over here. Yeah, here we go. Chunibyo literally means 8th grade syndrome, a term referring to a mindset exhibited primarily by teenage males, also used as a derogatory term to refer to older people who still exhibit this mindset, characterized by an affected attitude of nihilism or cynicism, extreme self-centeredness, delusions of power or superiority, and a consuming fear of being treated as a child. The person exhibiting these symptoms believes that they are cool, but most observers find them pathetic. Chunibyo, which is often abbreviated Chuni, also refers to the fictional tropes that teenage males often enjoy, such as ancient conspiracies, superpowers, especially powers sealed in a character's eye or arm. The hell is that, Norse? What the hell does Norse stuff have to do with? Yeah, Norse mythology, battles for the fate of the multiverse, etc. The consummate Chunibyo case will work such elements into his own personal backstory. Okarin is a textbook example. Remind you of anyone you know? Anyway, now we're talking about black holes. Black holes, gravitational forces. What else is there? The twin paradox. He had a twin brother, remember? The younger twin stayed on Earth while the older one rode a rocket that traveled at the speed of light into space. In a few years, the older brother returns to Earth and the two brothers meet again. Here, the younger brother, aging a lot faster than the older brother, is the Urashima effect. Because, you know, whenever you're traveling light years, when you return, basically the same number of years apply. So if you travel like 5 light years out and 5 light years back, you potentially return 10 years older, depending on who's doing the traveling. That's right, it's about the theory of relativity. Who knows if it actually works or not. Maybe it doesn't actually, because maybe it works for both people? No one really knows. By Tipler cylinders, are you referring to the Tipler machine? A Tipler cylinder would have to be 10 kilometers in diameter, 1,000 kilometers long, have mass equal to the sun, and revolve 2,500 times per second to become a time machine. How do you fit that onto a Chevy? Even if you could, a Tipler machine can't travel farther back in time than the moment of its creation. Enough of your delusions. That channel is not your blog. I want to hear from Titer. This is a surprise. Does this mean people of this age already know about my time machine? Did you really encounter me 10 years ago? If so, then that must have been on another world line. I at least have not gone to the year 2000. It must have been a different timeline then. In any case, the important point is that a rotating black hole has the same effect as a Tipler cylinder. You can learn more about Kerr black holes by studying the Penrose diagram or Tipler's calculations. My time machine works by generating a pair of Kerr black holes. In Japanese, please. No one really understands. Anyway, the twin paradox occurs when the two meet again. Instead of looking at it from third-person perspective, it'll make more sense if you think of it from the brothers' perspectives. From the younger brother's perspective, the older brother exited Earth at close to the speed of light and then returns. So naturally, time moves slower for the older brother. So what about from the older brother's perspective? That's the question. Yeah, how does that work? I mean, do you not consider the fact that you've been traveling at a pace of like years? Or is it just a distance itself? Who knows? He didn't deny it. All aboard Hoen's crazy train. Prepare for a train wreck. Kerr black hole time travel is theoretically possible, but number one, how do you get black holes to spin? Don't tell me you wait until you find one spinning naturally. That's ridiculous. Number 2. How do you pass through the singularity? There's no way a Chevy can withstand the pressure. Also, no stock prices. Because that's the number 1 thing we want to be aware of. This isn't a delusion. I know for a fact that Titer posted 10 years ago. There's even a book about it. Search the used bookstores if you don't believe me. His Chevy has a gravity distortion unit. That's what he said 10 years ago. This sounds like the plot of Back to the Future. Only except he doesn't have a DeLorean. Did Hoenn Kyouma hop world lines? Funny you should mention that. Did Titer really appear 10 years ago? That's still the question. Do. Let's see. More to the point, where the heck is the actual content that we're looking for? Okay, so more about the twin paradox. From the older brother's perspective, the younger brother still on Earth moved away from him at lightning speed, and then he came back, right? In other words, wouldn't time slow down for the younger brother? Shouldn't the older brother be a lot older by the time they meet again? What does this mean exactly? That's the paradox. So is it the older brother who's getting older, or is it the younger brother that's getting older? That's the question. Anyway, we're still gonna move on from that. I don't know why they're talking about spinning boobs, but whatever. Just like in real life, there's a lot of online perving going on. Yes, it does have a gravity distortion unit. My time machine is not perfect. It was built by a third party who reverse engineered CERN's design. The gravity distortion unit is a little unstable. First, the unit produces a micro singularity, then injects electrons to induce rapid rotation. This generates a local gravity sine wave. As the time machine passes through the singularity, the gravity distortion unit regulates the pressure to ensure safe passage. I'm not a specialist, so I cannot explain the mechanics any further. Let me just say that Kerr black holes can be manufactured. I assume everyone's aware of CERN's current experiments with black hole creation. More plot evidence. It's not that you won't explain, it's that you can't. Why is Curry Gohan so combative? How do you set the destination? The Earth is constantly moving. Or didn't you know that? By the way, I proposed that Titer equals Hoenn theory. They're not the same person. Things really got rolling once Hoenn showed up, huh? Pretty sure we were watching a one-man show. Yes, they're two titles or two tags that are handled by Okabe or Ocarine. Anyway, all this scientific progress talk is getting me hyped. But the more realistic it becomes, the less cool it is. Why would it become less cool? While we're talking about time travel, this dude over here is thinking about life under a dystopia. Kinda weird. But one man's trash is another man's treasure. go read some sci-fi. Are we doing that already? Do 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 do. We're just continuing this on. Summer is a good time to get a job. So is the fall season. I guess it's easier to tell if he's really from the future if we ask about life in his time instead of the time machine. Yeah, he's not a specialist after all. Man, imagine how this plot thread would read like in more modern times. I'm pretty sure there would be more flaming going on. Do. This stuff is irrelevant. It's probably easier for us to just scroll through the entire thing and exit out, but hello! I set the destination with a VGL system. That's variable gravity lock. It functions by reading the local gravity of the destination and locking the Tipler sine wave onto that location. By locking onto Earth's gravity, it ensures that I don't end up floating in space. It uses 4 cesium clocks to make the calculation, so the margin of error is negligible. Yeah, the universe is deep in Titer's BS. Oh, but hey, the same information was in the Titer book. All you've done is post 10-year-old copy pasta. Anyone could do that. How do I know you're the real Titer? I'm feeling more and more disappointed. Still nothing concrete. Nice try, I guess, but I won't be fooled. Even Hoen's turned his back on Titer. Yeah, cesium is by no means cheap. Anyway, we're done with this plot thread. Well, I shouldn't waste all day on ad channel. We have more important things to deal with. Namely, the phone wave named subject to change. We haven't experimented with it since yesterday. It's high time I figure out what's going on with that thing.
なあ、ダル。なぜペケロッパなのだ?
I mean, it's a 20-year-old machine with specs lower than my cell phone.
ロマンだからに決まってんじゃん、上皇。
主人公が日本人なのに、オッドアイである理由のようなものか。
全然意味がわからん。
ロマンだ。
ロマンならしょうがないな。いずれにしてもラボには他に空いてる PC がなかったんだよ。
お前の最新 PC は？
ふざけんな。こんなわけのわからんものにつなげて、もし動作が遅くなったらどうすんだよ。
What a selfish bastard, right?
そういえば、ゲル化については調べてきたん？
ああ、今朝大学に行ってきた。
Why would a banana jellify? What kind of science are we dealing with here?
顕微鏡で調べてみたんだが、分子レベルでズタズタだった。
ズタズタ？
総転移とかそういうレベルではなかった。バナナではない何かになっていた。
食した可能性はないか。2分間チンしたぐらいで腐るはずないもんな。
フラクタル構造を思い出したよ。
メンガーのスポンジだっけ？
ああ、バナナにフラクタル図形の穴をナノレベルで無限に開けていったような感じ。
なんかヤバくね？何が起きてるんだろう。
俺には一つ仮説がある。
Does any old university have access to like electron microscopes like this? Hell, I went to Davis. I don't remember those being there unless you were probably higher up on the research chain. Anyway, Daru gulps, waiting for me to continue.
電子レンジの電磁波の影響という仮説だ。
え？それってどういう？
俺の推測が正しければ、電話レンジ過去仮はとんでもない殺傷兵器になり得る。軍事に転用すれば戦争の歴史が塗り替わるだろう。俺だ。計画は第2段階を迎えた。あ、いずれ奴らは思い知ることになるだろう。グランドジャッジメントは近いのだとな。全てはシュタインズゲートの意志であり、人類はそれに抗うことはできん。エル、プサイ、コングル。
妖精さんと話してんじゃねえっつーの。接続終わったぜい。で、どうする？
バナナは用意してある。
Yes, we have bananas. The shiny golden fruit of our dreams. Anyway, just before I left May Queen plus Nyan Squared, Mayuri asked me to buy some bananas with her money.
丸々使うとまたマユシがしょんぼりしちゃうんじゃね？それマユシのお金で買ってきたんだろ？
奴から提供された研究費だ。
そもそも丸々全部使う必要なんてないし、1本でいいよ、1本で。
実験に金をケチるようでは世界の支配構造を作り変えることなどできんぞ。
作り変えたいと思ってんのはオカリンだけだって。ほら、早く携帯からタイマー入力よろ。
And complete.
2分が結構長いんだよな。
In the meantime, there's a text message from Ferris. You know exactly what I mean, yeah. Why do you think I approach you, Kyoma? The story has already come to life, yeah. I must to prepare you for what you must face. That's my role as a guide, yeah. Disregard that.
マジで電磁波のせいだったら僕らの細胞なんかもスカスカになっちゃってんのか
？While still looking bored, Daru finally gets into the discussion at hand.
お前は電話レンジカッコ仮の中に入ってチンされたことがあるのか？
そもそも入れない罠。つうか、電磁波の影響ってソースは？
あえて言うならば、マッドサイエンティストとして勘弁。
根拠なしとか。
かつてエジソンはこう言った。1% のひらめきがなければ 99% の努力は無駄でしかない。だから発明家よ、ひらめけ。
天才は 1% のひらめきと 99% の努力じゃなかった？
残念だったな。近年ではそれは誤って広まったものだというのが常識になっているのだ。うわ
エジソンが言ったん？ひらめけって。
そう、ひらめけ。
I don't know if that was exactly what he said, but I'm sure it was something along those lines. I.e., it was not what he said. At least that's what the wiki said. You know, note to any future writers, don't believe everything that the wiki says.
ゆえ天才マッドサイエンティストである俺は常にひらめ。
Oh, hey, food's done.
しかしチンをしたところでゲル状になるだけで新しい発見など何もないよな。
Daru opens the phone wave named subject to change his door and peeks inside.
お？
何をしている？
いや、あれ、消えた。
消えたって何が？
バナナが。
Now, what the hell is he talking about? I push Daru aside and look into the phone wave, named subject to change.
ない。
It's definitely gone. So where'd it go? There's nothing inside. The banana has vanished without a trace. It's like the world's best or worst magic trick. I speak into the silence on the other side of the phone.
俺だ。厄介なことになった。俺たちはどうやらとんでもないものを目覚めさせてしまったらしい。
とんでもないものって何ぞ？
I ignore Daru's panic cry. I'm surprised too. My heart's pounding, but I try to appear calm.
今すぐに緊急要請666号クーリングオフを発動させろ。何？政府の承認？バカか！そんなことを言ってる場合ではない。このままではこの国が吹っ飛ぶぞ。
自演をつ。
なんで消えたんだよ。
知らんがな。
どこに行った？バナナ！バナナ！
Man, he could sub in for a minion any day.
そうか。わかったぞ。これは電磁波兵器などではなくテレポートが可能な電子レンジだったのだ。
なんだって？ってそんな無茶な。
でなければこの密室からバナナが消えるはずがない。
ひとまず冷静になるべきじゃね？
そうだな。
Oh, I know. I'll eat one of the remaining bananas. That'll calm me down. Yeah, where did we leave those bananas? And I can't believe my eyes. Impossible. Not 3 minutes ago, Daru plucked a banana from the bunch and put it inside the phone wave named subject to change. Or so he thought. But now there's no sign that a banana was ever plucked. Instead, a single jellified banana has appeared among the regular bananas.
なんじゃこりゃ。どうなってんだ？
誰よ、このラボに今バナナはいくつある？
多分このバナナだけ。
このゲルバナがくっついているところはお前がさっきちぎった場所か？
わかんねえ。そこまで確認してないし。このゲルバナ完全にくっついてるな。
That's right. The bunch is completely intact. Even the stem is still there. Aside from the jellification, it looks completely normal. Not so much as a sign that the jellified banana was stuck onto the bunch after the fact.
なあ、誰？これってもしかして。
The word I spoke impulsively a few seconds ago. I hesitate to speak it again. My head's full of question marks. I don't know how this happened, but if I were to explain it as I saw it, the banana that was in the phone wave named subject to change returned instantly to its bunch. In other words, it teleported?
テレポートだったりするんじゃないか？
Yes, a teleporter. We invented a teleporter. That's what it is.
興味深い実験してますね。
Now, whose voice is that? That doesn't sound like someone we know.
誰だ？バカだ。なぜ貴様がここに？若干18歳にしてサイエンスに論文が掲載された天才。囚人監視の中で男をいじめるド S 女。そしてまたの名をザ・ゾンビマキセ・クリス。
説明セリフをつ。
誰がゾンビだ？誰が？
一体どういうことだ？何が目的でここへ？
あなたに会いに来たの。岡部倫太郎さん。じゃなくて法王院京馬さんだった？
Yeah, so how the hell does she know his name?
そうか。やはり貴様、機関に所属するエージェント。しかも特殊能力者だな。それならば不死であることも頷ける。
だから死んでないって勝手に殺さないでくださいよ。橋田さん、この人何とかしてもらえませんか？
この状況でマキセ氏が現れたからオカリンは混乱してると思われ。
Yeah, Daru doesn't seem fazed by this girl. But why? Why are they so friendly?
誰？裏切ったのか？
オカリン暴走しすぎ。
マキセ・クリスに弱みを握られたか？それとも色化に惑わされたか？許さんぞこのビーチが！
落ち着け。この場所のことは昨日講義が終わった後で橋田さんから聞いたの。あなたの名前もね。
Chris's simple explanation quells my fiery rage like a bucket of water. I mean, all you had to do was ask.
俺と話をしに来たと言ったな。
そうです。私が死んだのを見たっていうのが事実なのか、単なるセクハラの言い訳なのか、それについての回答が欲しくて。
Now that she mentions it, she did treat me like I was a perv yesterday. I wonder why. Well, I suppose I should be grateful that she didn't call the cops on me after what I did. But what choice did I have? Anybody would react the same way if a dead person reappeared before them, right? No, usually when that happens in something like, say, The Walking Dead, the first thing you do would be to either run or kill the walker.
でも、今のあなたの振る舞いで理解した。どうやら単なるセクハラだったみたい。つまり、私の予測が証明されたということ。
勝手に結論を出さないでもらおうか。お前は俺を誤解している。
まあ、そのことは今はいいんです。そういえば、まともに自己紹介してませんでしたね。マキセ・クリスです。改めまして、よろしく。
So what's she trying to do? Shoot lightning from her fingertips?
握手もできないの？日本の男の人って常識が足りないんじゃない？
Yeah, typically Japanese folks tend to bow. Not necessarily shake hands. Yeah, shake hands? What kind of weirdo is she? This girl genius is asking for a handshake? We only met yesterday, and just moments ago she was on the verge of calling the cops.
欧米か？
アメリカで7年暮らしてますが何か？
欧米か。
Well, that explains it. I looked down at her slender fingers and... Why is he freaking out? Glossy, healthy fingernails. No unnecessary nail polish. He obviously has never interacted with a girl before, I guess.
ビビりすぎ。
身にまとう殺気が半端ないからな。これが俗に言うマーシャルアーツか。
俗に言わないわよ。
では、忍者。
言わないっつってんだろ。
Damn, this woman is completely cold. Her tone gets scary sometimes too. She's so mean. And to top it all off, she bursts into the lab and starts inspecting our gel banana without permission. I slowly sneak toward the phone wave name subject to change, trying not to draw her attention to myself. The last thing I want is Chris getting close to the phone wave name subject to change.
これ、本当に興味深いですね。ピンセットあります？
ない。
そう。
何をする？希少な実験データを。
グズグズね。
So she just stuck her finger in the banana, rolled it around, and licked the gel off her fingertip without any hesitation.
まっつ。
Weirdo.
味はなしか。
食い意地が張っているとはまだまだお子様だな。
よみがえりしもない。そんなに腹が減っているならばバナナ1本ぐらい恵んでやろ
う。いりません。
そもそもあのバナナ眉しのじゃん。
遠慮することはない。俺が恵んでやると言っているのだ。
変態のバナナなんて誰が食べるもんですか。
変態のバナナ。変態のバナナを食べる。ぐずぐず。指くわえる。まずっと顔をしかめる。
Daru's bit of a shut-in. It looks like his cranial pervert processor is overclocking.
マキセシ、今のもう一度お願いできる？できれば悔しそうな顔でよろ。
はい。
ほら、変態のバナナなんて誰が食べるもんかって。できればその後で、ああでももう付け加えてくれるとなおグッド。
だるよ。お前はどうしようもないクズだし最低の変態だが、今回ばかりはよくやったと言っておこう。
Yeah, this is the type of joking that will probably not translate well into English. They're trying to make dirty jokes, but these kind of situations are, I guess, I don't want to say more natural, but they're more of a trope in Japanese, like, animes rather than anything I've ever seen in, like, a American television show.
それでマキセクリス、お前は今何を想像したのだ？ぜひ教えてほしいものだな。さあ言え、天才少女。天才がどんな妄想をしたのかご考説願おうではないか。
バカ。
Looks like she's capable of expressing human emotion after all. After you just, you know, subject her to a bunch of degrading comments, but whatever, let's move on past that.
あんたたち二人とも変態だったのね。
いや
お前に言われたくはない。
オーケー。生意気な振る舞いについては謝ります。その原因があなた方のセクハラ行為にあったとしても、今は不問にする。詳しく教えてください。このバナナのことと、それとそっちの電子レンジのこと。
トップシークレットだ。あえて部外者のお前に一つだけ教えてやれるとするなら、こいつの名前は電話レンジカッコ仮だということぐらいだ。
名前なんてどうでもいい。
だが名前以外は教えることはできないぞ。
Daru and I discuss whether or not we should tell her anything more. Probably not. She's a stranger. Go away.
でもさ、オカリン、マキセ氏ならこのヘンテコ機能について解明してくれるかもよ。
それは。
Well, she is a genius. She would have to defeat my sharp wit. We can trust her intellect at least. Meaning she's smarter than both Daru and Okabe. but it's hard to stomach her attitude. But then I get a great idea.
ニヤニヤしちゃって。また何か変態チックなこと考えてる。
クリスティーナと言ったか、貴様。
誰がクリスティーナだ。一言も言っとらんわ。
Christina sounds like the name of a Hollywood film star. It definitely has more flavor than her real name. Gotta remember her name is basically just Chris in Japanese.
このレンジの秘密を教えてほしければ、俺と取引してもらおうか。
If you wish to learn... Wait, hang on, he just said that.
何よ。
まず一つ、貴様にはラボメンとなってもらう。
ラーメン？
ラボメンだ、バカ者。ラボラトリーメンバ
ー。研究所のメンバーに迎えてくれるっていうこと？でも私8月中にアメリカに帰る予定なんですけど。
他者に秘密を漏らさないという誓約書を書いてもらうか。もし破ったら貴様がムッツリスケベの変態だとサイエンス誌に告発する。
鬼畜だな、オカリン。そのサイエンス発売されたら5冊買う。
2つ目の条件は、この俺が貴様に対して行ったセクハラ一歩手前の行為について全て不問にすることだ。
オカリンちっちゃえ。人としての器がちっちゃいっす。そこに痺れる、憧れる。
こちらからの要求は以上だ。この2点を飲めないのなら今すぐお引き取り願おう。さあどうする？悪くない取引だと思うがな。
あんたにとってでしょ。まったくノルアドレナリンが過剰分泌されてる気分よ。開いた口が塞がらないわ。
貴様が顎関節症になろうとしたことではない。要求を飲むか飲まないか、さあ答えろクリスティーナ。
だからティーナってつけるな。私はクリス。オーケー、取引する。
いい返事だ。今この瞬間君はラボメンナンバー004となった。歓迎しようクリスティーナ。いやザ・ゾンビよ。
どっちも間違ってるからちゃんと呼べ、法王院。子供ですね。
何か言ったか？天才変態少女。
ああもう以後変態禁止。私もあんたのこと変態扱いしないから、もう許して。
分かればいいのだ。では本題に入ろう。ダルよ、クリスティーナに。
ティーナも禁止。
クリス君にこれまでに我々が行った実験について説明してやりたま
だが断る。
Oh well, in the end I'm the one who has to explain. Along the way I also relate the tale of my heroic deeds, which enrages Chris, of course, but I finally tell her everything about the bananas and the phone wave, named subject to change. Chris doesn't ask any questions. She's quick to understand, as expected of a genius. Oh, there's a text message from Mayuri. I don't have time to reply right now, so I'll just ignore it. Rainet Kakeru is really interesting. You should try watching it sometime, Okarin. It has lots of stuff that makes you think. It's not just for kids. Like every other anime. Anyway,
やっぱり興味深いわ。
it is about midnight here, so we're going to make a save here and we shall continue this another time. Chapter 1 is easily the longest of all the chapters. Mainly because it has to build up the world before we can actually explore the various routes. We haven't even been introduced to all the characters in the story either. And until we get to that point, we simply have to continue Chapter 1. Well, that's alright because this game won't let us continue past Chapter 1 anyway. So, once we get to the end of Chapter 1, if you guys really want to continue the story, I recommend just checking out the anime. Or unless you have a PS3 or PS Vita. Those are the only other two ways that you can access the original PlayStation version of the visual novel. I think you might be able to access the PC version on Steam. I'll have to look it up, but again, you would have to go through Steam, or you might want to check out YouTube. I'm sure there are some folks out there who have already uploaded like a complete playthrough of the game so far. See you later, Storm. We will see you again next time. If you're currently watching this on YouTube, please like the video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Let me know what you guys think of Steins Gate Elite so far. I think there's a PS4 version of Steins Gate 0, though that one isn't necessarily a remake or retread of the original story like it is here. It's actually more of a side story, aka a sequel. It deals with the other half of this main story, which, if you follow it through to the very end, you'll know why. But anywho, make sure to leave a comment or question down below, share the video, and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. If you've missed out on the first part of Chapter 1, hit up our playlist, or if you want to see more games from us, hit up our channel. I'm still trying to determine what games we'll be playing for the remainder of October and in the future for the fall. I think I might have to rearrange my storage drive a bit, re-download some games and delete some off the storage drive. But I will decide in the upcoming week. So make sure to tune in to our channel for more videos and more content. If you're on Twitter, follow us at twitter.com/LunarlightGames. Over there you'll find deals, discounts, as well as news stories about the gaming world, as well as the odd giveaway we run from time to time. Check out the pinned post for more information, or hit up our hashtag LunarlightVault. If you'd like to support our channel financially, you can do so by dropping a donation over at paypal.me/LunarlightGames. The link will be posted down below in the description below. But if not, don't worry about it. You can still contribute to our channel simply by just watching our content and also checking out our videos. Make sure to subscribe as well. If you're over on our backup channel at twitch.tv/LunarlightGames, follow us there and hit the notification bell across all of our platforms to get updates as they're made available, or to catch whenever we go live. That's going to be all from us tonight. We will hopefully try to be back more during the weekend. For now, take care, have a great night, or a great day, and we will see you guys again all very soon. Take care, and have a wonderful weekend.